The Bengals are cooking something big. Chase Brown has been getting a lot of attention and praise from the team and could be a focal point for the team going forward starting in week 1. We're going to discuss what they had to say and why this is exciting that Chase Brown might get more attention to take some pressure off of Joe Burrow and that passing attack. Welcome to the jungle. This is Isaac Coffman with Bengals Digest. Happy to see all you Bengals fans. It is game week for week 1. We are here. So much excitement going around the team. If you don't want to miss out, be sure you are subscribed by smashing that subscribe button and also leave us a comment. Feel free to let us know your excitement. What are you looking forward to with this Bengals team? Could it be improvement on the defensive side, a certain player you're watching? We want to hear from you. Well, one player that's been getting a lot of attention, a lot of talk when it comes to the strategies, game planning for the offense is Chase Brown. And Chase Brown is a unique player because he didn't start a full year last year. Zach Moss was the starter until he went down with injury, and Chase Brown then stepped in and proved that he could be a starter. So this is his first full season going in as a starter, and there's a lot of excitement building up around that. In fact, so much so that there's talk of he's going to be a problem. He's going to be this monster. That's what Logan Wilson was saying, that Chase Brown just can do it all. He can do all kinds of things out of the backfield. He's not just this one trick pony, but one that could really take the attention off of Joe Burrow and that passing attack. And that gets me so excited because that's something that opens up the playbook. When you have a run attack that is able to carry the load, you can throw in play action, you can do the screen and swing passes out of the backfield. It really opens that up, and it's not as forced, it's not as telegraphed. You can get more trickery going on with your playbook. You don't have to be so one-sided. That's something that the Bengals have lacked a little bit in recent memory. It's not that their running has been bad, but it was lackluster. It just could have been so much more. And Joe Mixon was one of those running backs. I think he was that original bell cow guy that's going to be, taking a lot of the carries. I think that's what Chase Brown is going to be doing this season. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to get the ball 30 times a game, but there's a lot of talk of him being that guy. In fact, that's what some of his teammates and some of the coaches were saying. This is what one of the coaches had to say. This is coming from Dan Pitcher. He said, "I believe Chase Brown is a top 10 back in the league. Certainly, you don't want to burn the guy out. You also want to make sure your most explosive players are on the field and ready to touch the ball as many times as possible." Well, there you go. He saying as much that he needs to touch the ball more. And going back to, he was not the starter to begin the year. Now he's going to have that opportunity going into the season knowing that he's the guy. He has Samaje Perine backing up. He's a familiar face. He's a reliable third down back. But then you have behind him a rookie in Taj Brooks. So you have to think to yourself that Chase Brown is probably ready to go. I mean, he had this expectation going in that I'm the guy. I'm going to be the starter that they're going to be relying on. They're going to be giving me the carries. And this is his time to shine. It really is. And it's exciting to hear the coaches are putting all of that weight behind him, saying, yes, he needs to get the ball more. And that's what I was thinking last year, is if they could just get that run game going. And a lot of that has to do with your offensive line. If you're not blocking, it doesn't matter who you got back there. You're going to have a hard time getting the ball moved like you should in the run game. And what the run game really does, when you think about it, it protects leads. That's what this offense is built for. Jump out to early leads, protect it. And by doing so, that's how you can really secure a lot more of those games. They couldn't do that, it felt like. It felt like the running game was a little lacking, and it could just be, again, the offensive line. It could be the coaching, and it could be partly Chase Brown thrown into that situation, kind of growing into that role. It's going to be really interesting going forward, just seeing what he can do this year. Some more praise that came his way, though, for more people talking about Chase Brown. This is... I got the wrong one up there, guys. Sorry about that. This is from Geno Stone. He said, with the speed and the way he's able to use it coming out of the backfield, I don't think he really gets credit for the way he actually runs the ball. He's a guy who can run the ball between the tackles or outside of the tackles. He has really good balance, when he hits the hole and gets through, he's gone. I agree. He has that just home run speed. If he is open, he's gone. There's going to be very few people that can chase him down. He's got that speed, and it's the agility. It's not just a foot race sprint speed he has. He has the agility. He's elusive. He's just able to make guys miss. If he can get to that second level where it's only him and one other guy, look out. That's got me excited. That's what I'm looking forward to. What kind of scheme, what kind of plays are they going to incorporate more with Chase Brown as that focal point? Joe Burrow obviously is going to be your quarterback. He's going to be running the offense. But just think, again, if you have that competent running game with Chase Brown, someone that the defense is game planning for. They're not just game planning for your Jamar Chase. They're not just game planning for your T. Higgins. They are anticipating, we got to stop Chase Brown first and foremost. Because in theory, you have a running game. You just run the ball all day. That's what you do. You can't stop the run. Offenses just go to it all day long. If you have a feared running game that the Bengals have lacked for a few years now, I feel like this is just going to be an amazing offense to watch. I just cannot wait what he can do. I feel like he's got the talent. I mean, he really is that. He could take the ball 30 times a game. I don't anticipate him going that far, maybe around the 20 or so. But again, he could do that. He could be that receiver out of the backfield. That's what makes it so exciting. And that's how he also feels about it. They also talked to Chase Brown. He had this to say. He said, "Sometimes I think about the stretch I've had and the improvements that I've made. I try to just stay in the moment, as cliche as it sounds. As much as I'm thinking ahead sometimes, I'm really trying to just stay in the moment and focus on what plays I can make right now, the improvements I can make at practice, learning opportunities I can take away and learn from right now, so when week 1 comes, we're full speed." There you go. He feels ready to go. He feels like he can contribute. He's got the right mindset. That's great to hear from him. And again, he's going to have that starter mentality going into this season. There's just a lot of excitement to build around this guy. I really like his attitude. I really like the way he conducts himself on the field. Just, again, he's a productive back. And he's not really gotten a lot of praise. I think if you're into fantasy football, you're going to see his name pop up a lot. I think he is getting a lot of attention in the fantasy world of that scope. But overall, as a running back, you just don't hear it. Dan Pitcher himself said he considers him a top 10 back. But I don't think a lot of people consider him to be that. They've just figured he's kind of the running back that's a part of Joe Burrow's offense. I'm waiting for him to surprise some people, especially with the attention he's going to be given. Going back to, they're going to get him more touches. It's just all about making the most of those touches. If you go back to, again, just looking at his stats from last year, he had 1,350 yards from scrimmage. And here's the full scope of that. He did play in 16 games. However, what's important to note is he only started 10 of those games because Zach Moss was the starter at the beginning of the year. He also had that game that he got injured in where he didn't start the next week. So he didn't have a full year, but yet he put up those 1,350 yards from scrimmage. Now, actual rushing, he had 990 rushing yards and 360 of those 360 yards of receiving. So, again, his yards per attempt were 4.3. If he can be over that 4 yards per attempt, just be that solid running back. And he fights for the extra yards. If you saw him in preseason, that touchdown, he fought for every inch of that touchdown. So it's exciting. I think it's just something that people are overlooking. They're kind of sleeping on Chase Brown. But hey, if that's the case, that's fine. We'll see what this offense can develop, having Chase Brown maybe as that focal point and letting all the other playmakers shine. Because, like I said, if they get to the point of having a threat at running back, look out. How do you stop this offense? That's the question I would ask. Again, you've got Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, all those guys already. Have fun. As a defensive coordinator, that's all I would have to say. If Chase Brown becomes that lethal, just he could pop off and get a touchdown at any moment because of the scheme, the different ways they work him in. It's going to be pretty exciting. I cannot wait. But we want to hear from you guys. What do you think of Chase Brown getting more attention, more touches this year? Do you think he's going to be more productive, having that mentality as a starter? We want to hear from you guys. Comment below your excitement, what you're looking forward to as a Bengals fan this season, or any other players that you are keeping an eye on and hoping they have a breakout year, or maybe ones that you already think will be good, such as your Joe Burrows. What are you thinking? What are your confidence going into the season? And as always, be sure you're subscribed so you'll know when our new videos drop. So that's going to do it for now, guys. As we say, Hoo Day.